A permutation, well, lesson 9.6 is permutations. A permutation is an arrangement or listing of objects in which order is important. You can also use the fundamental counting principle to find the number of permutations. So 1A, we have Julia is scheduling her first 3 classes. Her choices are math, science, and language arts. Use the fundamental counting principle to find the number of different ways Julia can schedule her first 3 classes. So, for the first class, she has 3 options: math, science, or language arts. For the second class, she has 2 options. And for the third class, she has 1. So you take 3 times 2 times 1, and there are 6 different ways she can schedule her first 3 classes. So you circle it, and that's your answer. 1B, there are 5 people on a bowling team. If they bowl one at a time, how many orders can they bowl? So the first person, there are 5 people to choose from. The second person, there are 4, 3, 2, and 1. So when you multiply, 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 times 2 is there are 120 ways that these 5 people could set up their bowling schedule. You circle it, and that's your answer. 2A, an ice cream shop has 31 flavors. Carlos wants to buy a 3-scoop cone with 3 different flavors. How many cones could he buy if the order of the flavors is important? So we have our cone. We have 3 scoops. So for the first scoop, he has 31 flavors to choose from. Once he's chosen one of them, he has 30 he has to choose from. Once he's chosen 2, now he only has 29. So you take 31 times 30 times 29, and that gets you 26,970 choices for an ice cream cone. Circle it, and that's your answer. 2B, 15 students are running for 7th grade student council. In how many different ways can the president, vice president, and secretary be chosen? So once the president's chosen, there are 15 people to choose from for the president. Once the president's chosen, there are 14 for vice, and then there are 13 for secretary. And you multiply those straight across, and you get 2,730 choices for student council. And that is order affecting it. So that means it could be the 3 same people a couple different ways. So it could be like one's president, one's vice president, one's secretary, and then one of these orders of these 2,730 is one of the, whoever was the vice president, principal, or president, the president, and so on. So it's changing their order is how you. The symbol P parentheses 31(3) represents the number of permutations of 31 taken 3 at a time. So this is like this drawing is actually a perfect example of that ice cream cone. So it's saying you start with 31 and you have 3 factors. So it's like the first scoop, the second scoop, and the third scoop. So you take 31 times 30 times 29. So this is an easy way to show you for them to ask you a permutation question. So 3A, it says what is the permutation of 8 with 3 factors? And so for that, you're going to take 8 times 7 times 6. And when you do that, you get 336. 3B, it's 12 with 2 factors. So you take 12 times 11, which gets you 132. And finally, 3C is 7 with 6 factors. And so you take 7 times 6 times 5 times 4, 3, and 2. And that gets you 39,130. Woo! Sorry, my pen's broken, so I'm having to use my mouse to write today, which is why my handwriting is so bad. Ashley's MP3 player has a setting that slows the song to play in a random order. She has a playlist that contains 10 songs. What is the probability that the MP3 player will randomly play the first 3 songs in order? So, for the first song, there's 10 possibilities. There's 10 possibilities that it could play for the first song, 9 for the second, and 8 for the third. So you take 10 times 9, which is 90, times 8, which gets you 720. So the probability that they'll play in order is 1 over 720. That's saying that the playing in order means that like what's actually the first song on the track is what's played first. You circle it, and that's your answer.